We've compiled a list of 5 mistakes that new collectors make. We're going to share that with you so that you don't make those same mistakes. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan. And we've done some brainstorming, some quick thinking, and we've gathered a list of some mistakes that we see new collectors making. If you're new to collecting, whether that's... we usually collect Marvel Legends, maybe some DC Multiverse, maybe Mythic Legions. I think this would apply to a lot of your action figure collecting in general. But I will tell you, one of those mistakes, but it could have easily made the list, but I left it off the list, is subscribing to this channel right here. If you subscribe here, you are statistically less likely to make mistakes in collecting and more likely to be a strong collector. So hit the subscribe button. Now, the first mistake that did make the list, and I think this is... I don't know what order these would be in. If it's the biggest, you can let us know in the comments. But I think a mistake that I see quite often and something that hinders a lot of people from even starting collecting is they look in the past too much. They say, all of those figures have already come out. I can't get all those figures. They're so expensive now, especially with like Mythic Legions, things like that, where older figures tend to be more expensive. Marvel Legends, sometimes those older figures end up being cheaper because they make newer, better ones now. But anyway, looking forward is the way to go. You should be looking at what's coming out now, what's currently on store shelves, what can you pre-order, because like I said, they're probably going to be better figures. They're going to have new tooling. Maybe it's going to be pinless, better face sculpts, more accessories, things like that. And as you're looking ahead to the future at pre-orders and things like that, you can get your pre-orders in at GoNewMeta.com. And when you use code STRONG101, you're going to get 10% off. Save yourself a little money on those pre-orders. Back to the show.
I think that's a fair one, because I think when you get into collecting, there can be that temptation of, I heard everybody loves this figure, or this older one is cool. Which if you love it and you really want it, that's one thing. But yeah, we've seen a lot of people too, who it's like, right when you get that, then it's like, oh, this new one's coming out, or you paid $80 for it, or 100 or whatever it is. So looking forward to what's ahead, what's likely to come. Maybe some speculation prediction videos could help you along the way.
I was going to say that actually does tie into one of my other mistakes or, tips. And that is, it's more of a do this, not that, but stay up to date with current reveals and leaks lists. Because while leaks lists are not, 100% accurate all the time, we don't exactly, maybe it leaks Spider-Man, but you don't know exactly what look it's going to be, or, it gives you an idea, though, of what could be coming. And I think that helps you keep looking forward versus, if I was really wanting, I don't know what's an expensive one that's been re-released. Recently, there was the Scarlet Spider. That retro Scarlet Spider was going for like 80 to $120 or something like that. But the leaks list it showed that we were potentially going to be getting a new Scarlet Spider. And that can kind of give you that pause to be like, oh, I really like that character, but there might be a new one coming out next year, so I'm going to hold off and wait. And it came out, and then you could get that figure, a better figure with better articulation, for $25 versus $120. So staying up to date, and even reveals, because I've talked to some collectors that have massive collections, and I'm like, oh, are you excited for this figure that's coming out next month or something? And they're like, oh, I had no idea. What is that even going to be? And it's like, it was, watch the Hasbro live streams, watch our recaps. A lot of other people do the recaps talking about what's coming, like officially announced. Pictures have been shown. This is coming. So stay up to date on those too.
Another mistake to avoid is not joining the Facebook groups. Now, we're not sponsored by Mark Zuckerberg in any way, shape, or form, folks. However, when we got back into collecting, it was very helpful to join the Facebook groups. There's quite a few. There's several about Marvel Legends. There's McFarlane ones. There's toys in general. Pretty much whatever toy line you're thinking, there's at least one group for it. And that is a great group, I think, most specifically with buying like used or loose figures. There's people selling new stuff on there. But a lot of times you might kind of want a figure, but if you can get it for $10, it's like, oh, I'll definitely try that out. And then sometimes you buy it, and you find out, wow, that Frogman's incredible, and I'm going to keep Frogman, but I didn't want to buy him for full price. That can be where you find lots. You can form relationships, even do trades. So if you have older figures that you don't want as much anymore, trade them for something new, or sell your legends you don't want anymore to then let you buy more legends. And if you want, you can go watch a video about how
I was
to
just going to
sell your
say,
legends.
we've made videos about how to sell your legends to fund all your other collecting hobbies. So, and if you want to sell your legends to us or other action figures, I don't know as much about other action figures, but I'd buy your action figures for the right price.
Right. And it's also just a cool place to see the community. You know, you
Yeah.
have people sharing like their excitement for things. You have
Photography. Yep.
photography. You just meet some actually really cool people in those groups too.
Yeah. Like I'm currently traveling. I'm going to probably go meet up next week with somebody that I met through like the action figure community because, you know, I'm active. I'm on here obviously, but also in other groups, other communities. You get to meet people. And I think that also adds to the fun of, you know, if I was just collecting by myself, I didn't have Jordan, I didn't have the Facebook groups and other people to talk to about all these things. I love talking to my wife, but she doesn't really love talking to me about action figures all that much. She'll listen, but not her favorite topic to hear about. So now I can converse with other like-minded folks, and I think that adds a lot more to my enjoyment of my hobby because I have somebody or several people to share it with. With the Facebook groups, like Jordan said, you can get your older action figures for a little bit cheaper. Maybe you're going to buy lots like we do. The number one rule there: always use PayPal goods and services, even if the person seems like a trusted person. I've had times where the trusted person's account got hacked. Somebody was selling stuff, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is like, you know, this person's been in the groups forever. I can see their posts. I kind of do my little bit of a background check on them, and it seems all good. So I gave them friends and family. Turns out they got hacked, took my money. I'm not going to get a figure from it. So unless you like, I know Jordan, I will pay Jordan, friends and family. I don't really do that with anybody else. And usually people are totally okay with that. You just cover the fee, which is like $1 or something usually. So make sure that you don't fall into that mistake, because I would assume a high percentage of people that have bought in the Facebook groups have fallen victim to scams because they paid friends and family. Just don't do it.
Another mistake to avoiding is overdoing it. So our advice would be to pace yourself. Now, when you get into collecting, we know this feeling very well. There's a whole lot of stuff. It's like you get to the Chinese buffet and you're like, I want that, I want that, I want that. If you've been to any good buffet, though, you know, if you got that first plate stacked high, you're not going to have an appetite for plate 2, let alone plate 3. So it is good to say, I want this figure, but maybe I'll wait for a better deal, or wait till I see a price that is better. And in the meantime, if I see a deal that I want, or if I see a figure that's higher on my list, I'll go for that one. It's okay to bide your time and give yourself something to keep looking for, because you easily could either get burnt out, like financially, or just literally, like I'm taking in so much, I don't know where to do or where to put them, what to do. Kind of figuring out ways to do your displays, how you want to store stuff, and ultimately I think that will allow you to be continuing collecting both financially and to have the energy and space to keep getting the ones that you want while also having some that you're looking for down the road.
Yeah. And we both kind of fell into that trap a little bit when we got back into collecting, because we'd go on the Facebook groups and be like, oh, that figure's only $10. That figure's only $10. And we'd have packages daily at our apartments, and which it was very fun for a while. But at some point we looked at all the things we had. We were like, I don't even really want, like, it was cheap, but I don't really actually want this character. So then we end up selling it off again. And I guess it came through the doors, but then I had to go through the work of, you know, cleaning out after I went too hard. So pace yourself. Like Jordan said, it'll extend your enjoyment of your collecting, I think, by quite a bit. And you don't have to go back for all those older figures. They're great. Maybe watch some reviews, see if it's actually all it's cracked up to be. But at the same time, just because a reviewer says that it's the best figure ever, it may not be a figure for you. That's our list of 5 mistakes, but if there's any that we forgot to mention, sound off in the comments, help the new people out. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, Stay strong.
Haven't we done this already?
Jordan.
Jordan, you know. That doesn't matter.
Have we done this before?
I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it, but maybe.
No, I don't think we've done this, unless we haven't named it anything with mistakes or new collectors.
Well, then it's perfect.